So what we have seen in our previous classes, that a single force is the cause of linear motion, when two forces are acting on a body which is equal, opposite, they will cause circular motion. So here force is the cause of motion, right? Now this linear motion is and this circular motion, basically both the motions are two types. One is uniform and another is non-uniform. Today we will see what is uniform circular motion, what is uniform linear motion, and what is the difference between uniform linear motion and uniform circular motion. After that, we will see that when a body is in rotational motion, that means when a body is already in motion, at that time what are the forces acts on a body. In our previous classes we have seen that force is the cause of motion. Now today we will see that when a body is already in motion, then what are the force acts on a body. It means today we will see the reverse condition of force. So let's go to the uniform circular motion. See, the word uniform means constant speed. That means the body will cover a distance at equal interval of time. First we have to lock these things. Uniform means constant speed. Now the motion, if it is circular motion, so what will be the definition of the circular motion? When a particle moves with a constant speed in a circular path. Simple. When a particle is moved in a constant speed, let me write it down, it will be better. When a particle moved with a constant speed in a circular motion, then the motion is circular motion. Then the motion is circular motion. Very simple. Now the important part in uniform circular motion. See, suppose a particle moves in a circular path. So this is uniform circular motion as the speed is constant. Fine. This is already given. Now, what about the velocity? What about the velocity? See, velocity is a vector quantity. Speed is a scalar quantity, whereas velocity is a vector quantity. So it will depend not only on the magnitude as well as in the direction also. Now, one thing that we have to know, when a body is in circular motion, when a body is in circular motion, that may be uniform or non-uniform does not matter, but when a body is in circular motion, the direction of the body always acts tangentially. This is very important. When a body is in circular motion, the direction of the body always acts tangentially. That means when the particle is in this point, then its direction will be at this direction. This is the direction of displacement. Okay, at this point, direction will be this way. At this point, direction of the particle this way. See, everywhere the displacement of the particle is changing. That means the direction of the particle is changing. So velocity is displacement upon time. That means if the displacement is changed all the time, then the velocity will be non-uniform. It means the displacement, it means the velocity is variable. Velocity is not constant in a uniform circular motion. Now, as the velocity is variable, so what is acceleration? What will be the acceleration? This is also variable. The motion will be accelerated, right? Because acceleration, we know that velocity by time. So the motion will be accelerated. Acceleration variable, motion will be accelerated. These are the key points in uniform circular motion that we have to remember. Speed is constant, velocity is path dependent, direction dependent, so that's why velocity is variable. As the velocity is variable, so the motion is accelerated. These are the three basic points in uniform circular motion. Now what about uniform linear motion? Uniform linear motion, that means this direction. Here we can see that the direction or the displacement and the distance are on the same direction. So here the speed as well as velocity both is constant, and this is the basic difference. That means the motion is non-accelerated. Motion is non-accelerated. So this is the basic difference between uniform circular motion and uniform linear motion. Suppose this is uniform circular motion and this is linear motion. What we have seen is that number one, speed constant, velocity variable, and acceleration, yes, the motion is accelerated. Here speed constant, velocity constant, and the motion is non-accelerated. So this is the basic difference between uniform circular motion and uniform linear motion. Okay, now the interesting fact is that what I was discussing, that we have seen that motion is the cause of force. Fine. Now we will see when a body is already in motion and the motion is circular motion. That means when a body is already in circular motion, then what are the forces or acts on the body? There are basically two forces acts on the body. One is centripetal force and another is centrifugal force. What is centripetal force? See, when a body is in circular motion, the force which is acting towards the center of the circular path is called centripetal force. Fine. And the force which is acting opposite to the direction of the centripetal force, that means this way acting a force, is known as centripetal force. Fine. Centripetal force, centripetal, see the term centri, acting, centri means center, so it is acting towards the center of circular path, and the force centrifugal just opposite in direction of centripetal force. See, the magnitude of both the forces is same. Magnitude is same for both the forces and directions are opposite, but still these two forces are not follows the Newton third law. Very important part. Why they are not following the Newton's third law? They are equal in magnitude and the forces are opposite in direction, because centripetal force and centrifugal force, they are not acts on the same body. Suppose this is a circular path, this body is moving. Now the force acting towards the center due to this body is centripetal force. Now if I place another body, at that body the centrifugal force will be act. Suppose this is A and this is B. Centripetal force, they are sitting on the same place and moving in a circular path. A and B sitting on the same place and they are moving in a circular path. Now the centripetal force on A and centrifugal force acts on B. Centripetal force is the cause of the object A, and due to the centripetal force there is centrifugal force is generating, which is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, but it acts on the object B. That's why, as both the forces are not acting on the same body, that's why they are not following the Newton third law. So this is all about the first chapter, which is force. So I am giving you a small conclusion that what type of force we have read in this chapter. See, force is the cause of motion. Now, what type of force is the cause of motion? Torque, couple. Fine. So these are the cause of circular motion. We are not discussing in this chapter on linear motion. We are discussing only circular motion. Now, when a body is in already circular motion, two forces are acts on the body. One is centripetal. Centri means towards center, and centrifugal force. Fine. Now let's move to the chapter. Uniform circular motion. When a particle moves with a constant speed in a circular path, what I told, that uniform is known as constant speed. In a circular path, its motion is said to be the uniform circular motion. In such a motion, the particle travels equal distance along the circular path in equal intervals of time. So, the speed of particle is uniform, yes, but the direction of motion of the particle changes at each point of circular path. You can see here this picture A, B, C, D. At each point, the direction of the particle has been changed. Now, the continuous change in direction of motion implies that the velocity of particle is not uniform, fine, or the velocity is variable. That is, the motion is accelerated. So, the three key points: constant speed. Okay, let me highlight. Speed is constant. Speed is constant. Highlighter is not working. Okay. Speed is constant. Velocity is variable. And the motion is accelerated. These are the three key points. Here is a description. I'm not wasting my time by. You can see over here that every point the direction has been changed. So that's why the velocity has been changing all the time. Okay. Now, what is the difference between uniform circular motion and uniform linear motion? In the uniform linear motion, the velocity is constant, that we have seen, and acceleration is 0. No acceleration has been produced in a uniform linear motion. The uniform linear motion is an unaccelerated motion, while in a uniform circular motion, the velocity is variable, speed is uniform, but the motion is accelerated. Now, centripetal and centrifugal force means when a body is already in circular motion, what are the force are acting on that body, that we will see. Centripetal and centrifugal. Centri means towards the center and centrifugal is away from the center. Centripetal force, we have read that in a linear motion a force is needed to change the direction of motion of a particle, yes, or to change the velocity of the particle, that is to produce acceleration, right? At each point of a circular path, the particle, instead of moving straight, continuously turns towards the center. To produce at each point of circular path, the particle, instead of moving straight, continuously turns towards the center. This change in direction of motion cannot be brought without a force. Got it? Thus, the motion in circular path is possible only under the action of a force which is called the centripetal force. This force is always directed towards the center of circular at each point of its path. That is, this force is also variable because its direction changes at each point of circular path. Hence, for a body moving uniformly in a circular path, there must be a force to provide the centripetal force required for circular motion. Fine. Now examples. In an atom, an electron moves around a nucleus in a circular path. Okay, that we know. Which the centripetal force is obtained from the electrostatic force of attraction on electron by nucleus. See, this is nucleus and the electrons are moving in the shell. So the force of attraction, the force which is acting towards the center due to the electron, and the electron is moving due to the electrostatic force of attraction. That's why, otherwise due to the electrostatic force of attraction. Otherwise, electron move away from the circular orbit. Okay. Next example. A planet moves around the sun in nearly circular path, for which the gravitational force of attraction on the planet by the sun provides the necessary centripetal force. Third case, the moon moves around the earth in a circular path, for which the gravitational force of attraction on the moon by the earth provides a centripetal force. And the fourth case is that when a stone tied at the end of a string is held in a circular path, the tension in the string holding, suppose this is your finger and you are moving a stone with a string around your finger. Now the tensional force will be acts towards your finger. Okay, so string holding the stone at the other end provides the centripetal force. In this force is not present, if this force is not present, the stone will turn to move in the circular path. If this force is not present, the stone will not turn to move in the circular path. Tensional force which is acting towards the center of the path. Otherwise, this stone will not move in a circular path, go away from the path. Now centrifugal force. So centripetal force, we have seen that centripetal force, the force which is acting towards the center When a body is moving in a circular path, the force is known as centripetal force. Now, centrifugal force, this is a force acting on a body away from the center of circular path, is called the centrifugal force. To understand this force, consider the following experiment. Now, this is experiment of merry-go-round. Oh, okay. Now I will explain this experiment. Suppose you are standing at the center of a merry-go-round. It will be better if I draw a picture over here. Okay, fine, no issues. Standing on a merry-go-round, a big circular metallic platform which rotates on its axis with a ball in your hand stretched outward. The ball is stationary as observed by you. Now, place the ball on the platform just in front of you. It is seen that the ball immediately moves away along the radius and falls down. Naturally, you will describe this motion by saying that a force called the centrifugal force must be acting on the ball away from the center, which makes the ball to move away. Now, let us consider the motion of ball as observed by a person standing on the ground outside the merry-go-round. He sees you holding the ball in your hand. The ball is seen to be moving in circular path so long it is in your hand. Okay. The reason is that when you hold the ball, you provide the centripetal force required for circular motion. When you hold the ball, it provides the centripetal force required for circular motion. As soon as you keep it on the platform, the centripetal force is being withdrawn and the person standing outside sees the ball moving along straight line tangential to its circular path in your hand. So for the person standing on the ground, the centrifugal force does not exist, right? So in this figure, they are showing 1.46 ball tied at the end of a string, the other end of which is tied at the center of merry-go-round. Here, merry-go-round, which is tied center. The ball is seen stationary and string is loose when the platform of merry-go-round is stationary. Very simple, because no tensional force acting on the ball. But when it starts rotating, the string becomes tight, showing that it is under tension, right? A person standing M, here is the person standing M on the ground outside the merry-go-round, finds that the ball is moving in a circular path, while a person standing on the merry-go-round, the person who is standing on the merry-go-round at A, at this point, the person at this point finds that the ball is stationary, because when the thing is moving in a circular path, when A moves to A dash, at the same time the ball moves to P dash, right? So that's why A finds that the ball is stationary, placed just in front of him at P. The difference in the observation of two persons, M sees that the ball is in circular motion because he is not on the merry-go-round, and the person who is sitting inside the merry-go-round, he observing that the ball is at the same position. Fine. Now the explanation why. For the person at M, the ball moves in a circular path because the tension in the string provides the centripetal force needed for circular motion. But for the person A, following two forces acts on the ball. For the person A, 1. the tension in the string towards the center of merry-go-round and the centrifugal force away from the center. The two forces being equal and opposite, so the net force on the ball is 0 and hence it remains stationary. Why it remains stationary? Because when A observing on the ball, it observed that at the same time there are two forces acting and the resultant of that two forces is 0. That's why A observed that the ball is in stationary condition. Now, if the string is cut when the ball is in position P, if the string is cut when the ball is position P, what will happen? The displacement of the ball will act in tangentially, right? That we have seen when a body is in circular motion, the direction of the body will be always act in the tangentially of the circular path. So the force of tension in string will cease to act as shown in figure. The person M standing on the ground finds that the ball is moving in a straight line. M will saw that it will move in a straight line because it will move tangentially. PT. Tangent drawn at the point P on the circular path while the person A moving with the merry-go-round comes at A dash. He finds that the ball is at position P dash. Similarly, the ball is at position P double dash, P triple dash when he is at position A dash and A triple dash respectively. So the person at A finds that the ball always remains in front of him, moving radially away from him. Always in front of him, that is fine, but radially away. Yes, the radius, the distance between the ball and the person will be increases radially away from him. For the person at A, the force due to tension in the spring has ceased to act and to him it appears that the ball is moving because of a centrifugal force acting on it along radius in direction away from the center. Yes, the ball is moving due to the centrifugal force. From the above discussion, it is clear that the centrifugal force is not a real force. This is a fictitious force. This is not a real force. If it is a real force, then both the persons, whatever they may be placed, they will feel that force. They may be watch that due to that force some displacement has been offered. They definitely feel that there some forces are acting. The only force involved here is the force of tension in the string acting towards the center, that is the centripetal force. A force which really does not exist but it is considered to describe or understand a certain motion is called the fictitious force or virtual force. So this is the definition, or you can say that centrifugal force is a virtual force or fictitious force, a force which really does not exist but it is considered to describe a certain motion. Actually, the force does not exist but it is considered to describe a certain motion is called fictitious force or virtual force. The centrifugal force is a fictitious force. So why the centrifugal force is a fictitious force? Because it really does not exist, but it is considered to describe a certain motion. Fine. We should not understand it as the force of reaction of centripetal force, although its magnitude is same as that of centripetal force. Another point, these two forces, that centripetal and centrifugal, are not follow the Newton's third law. Why? Because action and reaction are not acts on the same body.